Welcome back. You're watching the special edition of The Appointment. I'm Shireen Bhan and we're in conversation with the former Finance Minister, Chidambaram. You had a 10-point charter when you presented your last budget, and they've actually ticked off a lot of those items that were on your agenda.
Except that they don't acknowledge it.
including interesting ideas as far as bank recapitalization are concerned. Are you happy with the fact that they have now decided to bring down equity to about 52%, that being the cap as far as public sector banks are concerned?
Even our government said 51%. It is only Mr. Yashwant Sinha who said it can go below 50%, but nobody took that argument, even in the BJP. There were no takers. We said 51%. Now, whether you keep the floor at 52 or 51, it doesn't make much of a difference. As long as the public sector banks have majority government equity, I'm quite happy about disinvesting up to that point.
What is it that you would like to see now in terms of pending reforms, Mr. Chidambaram? The Finance Minister said that they are going to move towards ushering in the new generation reforms that the country needs. What is it that you would like to see happen?
Well, I've given a 10-point agenda. If they follow the 10-point agenda, I'll be happy. In fact, I was very happy to read this morning that finally the Finance Minister has spoken on interest rates.
And you believe that the time has come now for interest rates to come down?
When I said it, they said, you are eroding the autonomy of the RBI. Not they, many other commentators. The point is, the RBI and the government are not antagonists, nor is the government subservient to the RBI. The RBI as the monetary authority is entitled to take the final decision. But then there are other voices that must be heard. Other voices
but with inflation being well above the RBI's comfort zone,
What is this comfort zone? Who said that CPI inflation of 6% is the only relevant target? Core inflation is down today.
So he's saying that there is a case now for the Reserve Bank.
Who has said it?
The Finance Minister.
After 4.5 months. The point is, government must always preserve its autonomy to speak up for the people. RBI must preserve its autonomy to decide the interest rate. But that doesn't mean government's voice must be stilled or stifled. Government must speak. I spoke. When occasion rose, I spoke. But I left it to the RBI to decide. I'm very happy, therefore, Mr. Jaitley has spoken on interest rates. I sincerely hope that he'll be able to persuade the RBI to move on interest rates. Look at the last committee. The last committee, 4 members said, cut interest rates. The governor overruled them. I think the first thing they should do is to take up the FSLRC recommendations. Implement the non-legislative recommendations. You see, I'll tell you, I'll take you into confidence. I left a detailed note on the FSLRC recommendations, divided it into non-legislative and legislative. I said for non-legislative recommendations, there must be a task forces must be set up and you must implement it immediately. And for the legislative ones, you must lay out a timetable. But I added at the end, this note approved by me must be placed before the next finance minister of the government. And therefore it should be implemented. I want them to implement the FSLRC. That's
and the Finance Minister has said that he intends to put his weight behind that.
What we need to know is the timetable for implementing the non-legislative and the legislative recommendations. The GST bill must be passed in calendar 2015. And if 1 or 2 states don't want to join, let them not join. I know it will create some problems, but I think we must face those problems rather than be frozen in our tracks just because 1 or 2 states are unwilling to join. Number 3, the insurance bill must be passed. Insurance companies are bleeding. They must be passed and they must be allowed to capitalize. Public sector banks must be capitalized. And other things which I've said in my 10-point agenda, if they follow that agenda, I'll be very happy.
Let me ask you this, Mr. Chidambaram, and I know our rules of engagement were only economics, but let me end by asking you a political question.
I may not answer.
That's your prerogative, but I'll ask it anyway. The role of the Congress as the opposition, not the leader of the opposition just yet. We don't know whether you will be or you won't be. But Where is the Congress
It's rather churlish on their part not to give the leader of opposition.
That's for them to answer.
No, I want to make that statement
between you and
so
them.
that your viewers will hear
Sure.
it.
But the fact of the matter is, we don't hear from the Congress party. We don't see the Congress party. This government has got an uncontested platform. In fact, social media and Twitter is playing more of an opposition's role than the Congress party is.
See, social media is rather fickle. It can swing from this end to that end. I don't want to comment on social media. As far as the Congress party is concerned, I think they observed restraint, the usual courtesy of the first 100 days. I think they should have spoken up after the first 100 days. Another 50 days have passed. I observed restraint until Diwali, which has coincided with about 150 days.
So why have you decided to break your silence now?
No, I said after Diwali I'll speak. Okay. Until Diwali I said we'll observe restraint, give them a chance to announce their policies. I think there are serious questions about their foreign policy, serious questions about their defense policy. There is no policy that I have heard or seen on left-wing extremism, nor have I seen a coherent statement of policy on how they will deal with militancy in the Northeast. These are serious issues. Likewise, I think there are issues of concern about the manner in which Manrega is being whittled down and diluted. I think they've lost the focus. They've missed the focus of Manrega. I think there are questions about the way RTI is being whittled down by the governor of Maharashtra making a statement and others making a statement. Why is the
Congress party not raising these issues?
No, wait a minute. I'm raising it now. I'm not the authorized spokesman of the Congress party, but you will concede that I can legitimately speak for the Congress party. I have spoken yesterday, I'm speaking today, and I'm sure others will speak. I don't think this restraint that we observed as a matter of courtesy for 100 or 150 days will continue forever. I think the Congress party will speak up, and the Congress party will play the role of a robust opposition.
Is it restraint out of courtesy, Mr. Chidambaram, or is it a crisis of confidence and a leadership crisis?
No, you are not going to put words in my mouth.
I'm not putting words, I'm asking your question.
I'm answering. I answered it. I've already said it. The first 100 days, I think, is the usual courtesy extended to a new government. Beyond 100 days, I think it was the additional courtesy they extended, but I think that will come to an end now. I think people should speak up. Not that we will humiliate or abuse anyone. I think the Prime Minister of India, whoever he is, whichever party, occupies the post of Prime Minister of India. Therefore, we should always treat the post and the occupant with great respect. Likewise, a legitimate government with a majority must be given the respect that it deserves. And it must be given the time and space it requires.
How is the Congress party going to make itself relevant again, sir? Because today it's bordering on irrelevance.
No, well, that's your view. That's your view. I don't agree.
State after state, the assembly election results, mind share. No one's talking about the Congress party.
I don't agree. I don't agree. I think you are in a more confined atmosphere than I am. I think I travel more than you do. I meet more people on trains and aeroplanes and in marketplaces than you do. I don't think that we have lost our place in the mind space of people. Yes, we are in the opposition. We have to therefore be a vigorous opposition, a robust opposition, a vocal, visible opposition. And you will see in the days to come, the Congress will play that role. Who else can play that role? Today, please remember, it is the Congress alone that can play that role. And let me quote you from my favorite poet. Idippare illa yemara mannan, keduppar enum kedum. A ruler with no critic will fail even if his intentions are good. Therefore, it is important that we take the role of the critic and the opposition. We will play that role.
My final question to you, sir. You said that as far as the black money probe is concerned, the Congress party will not be embarrassed. There may be a certain individual within the Congress party, a
I don't know if anybody's name is there.
It sounded like you knew, and it sounded like an admission that there was a cabinet minister whose name figured in that list.
Did I speak in Swahili? I said very clearly, I did not ask to see, nor was I shown the list. I do not know what names are there in the list. Then the question was, we are told there is a name of a Congress leader. I said, so what? If there is a name of a Congress leader or a minister, the then minister or the leader will be embarrassed. Why should the party be embarrassed?
So you don't know for a certainty if there is a Congress leader or a former Congress minister who's on that list?
I did not ask to see, nor was I shown the list. Why would I see the list? The only list I saw was those 17 or 18 names which we gave to the Supreme Court, which was passed on to Mr. Jethmalani, following our decision to launch prosecution of filed charges. Once we reached that point, the list became public.
Mr. Chidambaram, it's always a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you very much for joining us here on CNBC TV 18.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, that's a wrap on this edition of The Appointment. We'll see you again next week. Till then, from the entire team, goodbye. Many thanks for watching.